So basically, if you just look at Monster Jam as a whole and not any other sport, and considering the venues that Monster Jam goes to by that period, pretty much almost all venues are a good venue whenever you look at it, because a little good ingenuity and some good track conditions can make fans, at least some, happy as can be. However, there are a few that slip through the cracks, and a few that can look very weird. Others that can look very ugly. Some have issues that are completely out of their control. And some others, you just have to say, WTF. So, for this list, here are the weirdest and worst Monster Jam venues ever. Sam Boyd Stadium, Las Vegas, Nevada. If we're going off of Monster Jam venues or really a motorsports venue of all time, Sam Boyd Stadium is up there as the greatest of all time. However, whenever this thing wasn't covered in dirt, was this thing really that good looking of a stadium? We all know what the obvious answer is. No. It was at best mid sometimes, and for football, it just looks pretty sterile. And other times it looks weird because it's not a complete circle around with the way the end zone is, at least the bottom part. And, well, yeah, it can also look ugly at times. It can have a mix of everything. Ultimately, the stadium was closed in 2020, pretty much because of COVID, even though there were plans already to close it. Monster Jam had used it for the World Finals for 19 straight years, and Supercross was also run here as well. However, Monster Jam initially planned to host the All-Star event for Sam Boyd Stadium's last show. However, that got moved to Glendale right before COVID happened. After COVID happened, the stadium has been closed, and right now it's likely to be demolished. It is unknown what the area will be done with. Citrus Bowl, Orlando, Florida. You have one of the more bizarre looking stadiums on here, and one of the oddest looking things I've ever seen. It's essentially basically exactly like Sam Boyd Stadium, except it's not, the upper deck is not completed around here. Again, like Sam Boyd, is a very iconic venue for Monster Jam. However, it is a very, as I said before, weird looking obscenities, including the holsters down here where I'm pointing at right now, at least with the video. Now, obviously, the Citrus Bowl no longer exists. It was actually rebuilt to Camping World Stadium, and it still looks weird as hell. And this will probably be one of the most bizarre stadiums Monster Jam will ever go to in all of its history. Miami Orange Bowl, Miami, Florida. It's no secret that the Orange Bowl looks very similar, in fact, maybe a kind of older brother to the Citrus Bowl. However, one thing that this place, and really the entire city of Miami, have had really a beef with Monster Jam and the USHR pretty much for nearly 15 years, was for an incident that was out of the stadium control. As in 1997, there was the tragic accident of Corey Scott. The stadium is another weird looking venue and also was aging pretty bad by this point. And in 2008, the stadium was demolished to make way for a stadium just as big of a disaster as the Orange Bowl could have been, except maybe even worse, Marlins Park, which, if there's a part 2, this will definitely be a part of. Carrier Dome, Syracuse, New York. The Carrier Dome is a place I've had a bit of a beef with. The reason why is, well, first off, its original design looked exactly like the Metrodome and RCA Dome, except it's baby, because the floor space is freaking smaller than majority other stadiums on this list. Actually, out of the stadiums I consider stadiums, it's the third smallest that Monster Jam goes to, behind the Fargo Dome and Tacoma Dome, even though now they're more considered arenas, even though I don't. However, another issue was obviously the roof, as, again, like the Metrodome, it could collapse, like the Vikings do every single January. However, they renovated the stadium in the 2020s, and now it looks like Megatron's butthole, or maybe like SoFi Stadium, or like a land. Wow, what a bad stadium! Oh my God, y'all still here? Y'all still here watching this crap? Tampa Stadium, Tampa, Florida. The first stadium in the Tampa area was not good, and there are a couple reasons why. Mainly, the big sombrero look makes it unique and weird. However, the biggest problem with the stadium, well, it was obvious. It was made out of freaking concrete. And remember, we're in Florida, and the sun will radiate off the concrete and stir it up right into the Floridian dirty airs. Obviously, after 25 years, stuff needed to be done about the stadium, as there was apparently a bunch of tax fraud and taxes and just other just illegal crap. Wait, this really did happen? Well, whatever did happen, the stadium was demolished in 1999, and Raymond James Stadium was built adjacent to it shortly afterwards. You can still see the outline of the old Tampa Stadium next to Raymond James. FedEx Field, Landover, Maryland. Yeah, you knew this one was coming, didn't you? And it's continually regarded as one of the worst stadiums in the entire world. Not only that, but probably one of the worst Mach Jam has gone to. And they just recently went to it, like last year. So do I really have to go over how bad the state? All right, here we go. We all know about the sewers, the failing rails, the seats breaking and other broken stuff. The stadium visibly rusting from all sides, a concrete donut style, making it look like a stadium from the friggin' 70s. The overflowing bathtubs, and whenever this isn't used for Mach Jam, the field turf being a disaster. And just the parking lot. Oh my God, the stadium is a disaster. I'd say, in my opinion, old busted ass RFK looks better. It's probably easier to get out of than this freaking hellhole. However, it's not as bad as this one. Oakland Alameda Coliseum, Oakland, California. Sorry, Jack Meredith, I have to do this to your baby. Maybe you could go ham on me like you said you did with that guy with the Burger King. Anyways. The Oakland Alameda Coliseum was already pretty much 40 years old before Mach Jam went to it. And just remember, its weird-looking layout already was made for a football team that left, not for the baseball team, the A's. However, when Mach Jam arrived there, they had left San Francisco, which in my opinion was a better venue than this to start out of. However, in later years, they were able to use the flooring. However, initially, they decided to make this some of the ugliest looking tracks, all basically because they just laid the tarp over part of the field, not the complete field, which exposed the baseball field, and sometimes could expose the football field as well. God, this freaking looks terrible. This is bad. And I haven't even got to the actual other stadium features. There's visible rust on the stadium. There's, again, sewage issues, and probably even more synthetic fuel, overflowing, seats are broken, obstructed views. It's all bad. I really have to go into more of this. And speaking of that, like other venues, while some venues will have this, Oakland has a specific issue with this as well: weather. And in their first event in 2008, it rained so bad it looked like someone took a diuretic crap all over the field. Hey, that sounds like the A's, like all the time. The stadium is set for eventual replacement and demolishment sometime later in this decade, and Mach Jam is set to be leaving the stadium very soon. Thank God! So, now we've gone through all the worst stadiums. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I had way too much fun making this, and it was just overall what you'd expect from some masochists like me. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time.